Nice!
Hey YouTubers, Grimmy here, and this is the video review for the Perfect Effect Combiner Upgrade Kit for your Combiner Wars combiners. Yeah, I said combiner a lot there, I know. Just roll with it. Anyway, the Combiner Wars Gestalt are actually coming out really nicely, but the hands and feet do leave something to be desired by a few people, myself included. The hands usually work out fine, but the feet are a little bit small. So there are third parties like Perfect Effect who are making upgrade kits to, boost up the quality of the Gestalts. And I'm going to be looking at Perfect Effects. Look at these right now. Now, so far, they have released the hands and feet in purple and in black, with a white set coming out very soon for Superion. But right now, you see that we have the purple set in the Stunticon's hands, and they don't really look like hands and feet, do they? Yeah, Perfect Effect made it so the hands and feet can transform into weapons for the Stunticons, for the Protectobots, the Aerial Bots, whoever is using them. So, let's take a look. Now, you got a few types. We're going to start with what the hands become, and they actually become these rifles. Double-barreled rifles with the sight. Very nice. On the other side, you do see the other fingers kind of becoming extra barrels. But all in all, this looks pretty cool. Now, if we take it off, we're going to get a closer look. It's a nice little device. Got your sight, you got your barrels, got your extra barrels. You can do a lot of damage with this little gun, which looks pretty cool. And it transforms. Just unfurl those, move the ball joint up, this is really tight here. Rotate the thumb very carefully because, like I said, it's very tight. I worry that the rod attaching the thumb to the ball joint will break before the thing moves. So that's something to watch out for. But in any case, just collapse it together. And we have a right hand. It's a little thin, granted, but it has fully articulated fingers. Moves at the knuckle and at the right here. Fully ball jointed and articulated thumb. Very tight, by the way. And there is even a little notch, if this will focus, a little notch in there to hold weapons with. So it can hold the guns as well. And it just goes into the same peg as the regular combiner. Same thing goes with this one, except this one forms the left hand. These cannot be switched out, so unlike the regular Combiner Wars hand-foot guns, they cannot become right or left hands or right or left feet. It's one, each one is for a specific piece. But that does it for the hand parts. Let's get to the feet, which actually have dual purposes. Now, each foot actually becomes two pieces and two Gatling guns. as you can see, I have Wild Rider and Breakdown here holding one of the Gatling gun each, and the other two are being held by Motormaster. Now, let's try to get this right. I'm going to get a flaw out of the way real quick. See, this one has a little problem with the ball joint not staying in there. And it's only for this particular foot. The black set has not given me that problem, and the other foot for this set has not given me that problem. So I think it just may be a QC issue on this one. I'm going to have to try a little floor polish later on, but yeah, that's something to look out for, especially since that's where it connects to the combiner. But as far as this goes, you got multiple spots to actually connect it to a figure. You have the handle right there, two handles right here, and these two handles are actually exclusive to one side. So you get, like for this one, it would be on the left side of the foot. For the one Wild Rider's holding, it's the right side of the foot that has that special type of connection. So this is good for underslung poses with one of the smaller guys. Okay. I'm just going to get these off so I can actually show you the rest of it. But this is the one that actually is on with Motormaster. As you can see, there's only one point where you can actually put this in a figure's hands. Just due to the way Motormaster's hands are, I can only get them connected from the bottom of the hand. This top is a little bit too low set to actually get it to fit. Like the peg's not long enough. Which is a shame. Now he can, I think, maybe not. Okay, so yeah, you can only hold them from underneath. Superior, like Silverbolt and Hotspot should have little problems holding it. I don't have either of them ready yet right now, but yeah, it seems like Optimus and Motormaster can only hold those parts from the underside. But in any case, I'm going to merge these. I'll show you how this works. Just flip up these posts. For this side, and just fold this together. You got 1/2 foot. For this one, you can make sure that post is flipped up. Fold it in. Also make sure that this little flap is folded up, because that's going to be important too. It won't fit together properly without that. Then you just take the two halves, press them together, and just make sure that you can flip that other peg down. Might be helpful to keep it up. I'll get into that when we take a look at how these look on the combiner. But yeah, it becomes a nice big foot. And like I said, this particular one has a problem where the ball joint will pop out very easy. That's just for this one particular foot. The other ones I haven't had that problem with. But to make sure that this is done as quickly as possible for your benefit, I have the set put onto a combiner already. And that combiner happens to be one that you haven't seen me on my channel yet, Defensor. And as you can see, the set really works well for Defensor. Let me just get this guy a little bit more of an stance. And I'll be reviewing Defensor later, just to show it off. But as you can see, he does have ankle pivots, thanks to the new feet. Now, the ball joints are tight on those ankles, but the weight still is a little bit much for them to handle, so they might bend in a little more than you'd like. So you gotta be careful with how that works. As you can see, the hands and feet do work well. And you can hold a pose very nicely with them. So it's not a bad set to have. Now the wrists, on top of the swivel that was already introduced, you do have an up and down waggle movement, which is good for sword poses, just for holding up gun poses, and stuff like that. So it can actually do well for the posability of the figure. Now, as I mentioned, the ball joints do seem to get a little loose under the weight of the toy, like the combiner itself. So if you don't have it just posed just right, they can topple over on you. Going to have to give you that word of warning. You could try putting some floor polish in. That might help stabilize it, tighten those joints a little bit more, just so they can fit. But aside from that, it's a very solid figure. And it's a very solid, well, the feet and hands are very solid. Now the hands do look a little thin. So I'm going to bring in, for a comparison, Superion, who still has the regular hands and feet. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because I'm going to take the guns out of their hands. Just so we can compare the hands and feet themselves. Get that end out of the way. Well, as you can see, Superion has very tiny feet that are hard to notice past the aerial bots they're attached to. While Defensor has these nice big feet that really define themselves as feet, and do help the stability quite a bit. But when we look at the hands, it's a little different. Superion has really big, strong hands to work with, while the Perfect Effect hands, well, oh, look a bit on the skeletal side. I mean, they're very thin. It's hard to get a proper angle. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, the Perfect Effect hands are very thin, almost skeletal looking. So the Combiner Wars default hands actually can work better. It's a matter of personal preference. I still would recommend a set for the feet, because those feet are really good. Now there are other third parties that are making other feet. At least they're starting to, from what I hear. So maybe it might be wise to keep your ears open for that. But if not, this Combiner Upgrade Kit is very good for your Combiner War figures, and I would highly recommend it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little review. Please leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to see more videos, and share with your friends. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, so long, have fun, and bye-bye.